And that's it. 30 seconds, just like that. I swear it goes so fast. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. It is December.
Yep.
3 seconds. And every year that we get to December, and I'm sure my conversation is the same every Tuesday. Oh, it's almost over. It's almost the next year. Like, I literally cannot believe that it is really and truly about to be 2026. Like, we are in December 2025. It's almost over.
Yeah, this year went by real fast.
That's why, and I think we say that every year. At least I know since
this
COVID
one went by faster than usual.
And maybe that's just like a we're getting older people thing, you know what I'm saying? But like I don't know how it got to be December so fast. And I'm looking forward to our December last Tuesday. We kind of seem to always do a wrap up of some sort, you know, at our end of the year shows or conversations. And then in January, like our beginning of the year conversation, like reflecting back or whatever, right? Or what we want to do for the year coming forward, not necessarily with, what do they call them things? Resolutions, but just, you know, taking from old and looking at the next 365 open days, right? But like, so the conversation that we'll have on our last Tuesday for this month will be like a 2025 wrap up. And I'm super curious to see what 2025 meant to a lot of people in our space, because it seemed like 2024 was a hell of a year for a lot of people, but 2025 seemed like a lot of folks got their ass kicked, but necessarily in a good way. And, you know, hopefully in a page turning type of, you know, experience. But 2025 is, this has been an interesting year. I'm glad for it to be over. I'm glad for it to be December. I'm glad for it to be coming to an end. But it's been an interesting year, in my opinion.
So for me, it's two. Whenever a year goes by really fast, it's two trains of thought. I think it's two possibilities. One is a lot going on, a lot of activity, a lot of movement, a lot of doing stuff. And that's, you know, when you're doing a lot, then time just goes by fast.
Sure.
Or the other thing can be you were doing a lot of nothing to where, you know, if you do a lot of repetition and every day seems like the day before, then all your days just start to run together too. And then next thing you know, oh, we had December. And then, so this is the telltale and this is something that I ask people sometimes, and I even ask myself, tell me, what were your highlights of this year? If you can give me 10 to 20 different highlights, then you had a busy, productive, eventful, memorable year. If you be like, I don't really know, then that could be a sign that you are stuck in the routine rut of doing the same monotonous thing over and over, which you need to break yourself out of. Because in my opinion, it's a waste of life.
Do those 10 things, in your opinion, do you feel like they have to be like good, good moments? Okay, because you can,
not necessarily, they just have to stand out.
Okay, so you can have some maybe not so pretty standout moments, obviously, still be part of that 10 in your opinion. Okay, well that's good.
It means that your life is eventful, and eventful life and things going on gives you the sense of, oh wow, we in December already. A whole lot is going on. I've had great years where time flew by, and I've had terrible years where time flew by. But it was eventful, and it's things that I can point to and remember. But I still say I'd rather have a memorable year, whether good or bad, versus I hate monotony. I hate when somebody asks you, what did you do? Like, what's today? Tuesday. Oh, what you do Sunday? I don't remember. Same thing I did all week. That's not a good life. Because when you and let me say it like this, because when you look
Yeah, there's
back
got to
over
be a
time,
caveat to that because there's some exceptions, I think.
this is just a general principle I'm speaking about.
Got you.
When you look back over your life, you're not going to remember the day-to-day stuff. It's
Right.
memories that will pop out.
Right.
So my whole thing about life in general, about my personal life, is I'm always looking to create memories, because that's what's going to last. That's what, if we create a memory, it's something that those parking lot conversations.
That
6
part.
years later, we still talk about that memory.
Literally.
Well, and if you're not making memories, and that's why I say, I'm not saying you're really wasting your life, but you're not doing anything that's really going to carry over with you 5, 10, 15 years down the road. Just doing the same regular stuff, and then you look back 5 or 6, and it's just, and you're void of fruitful memories. So I say always create a memory. So that's one of the things, if people know, maybe for the last 5 or 6 years. On my birthday, I don't work. I never go to work. And I'm only looking for memories. I do something that I've never done before. I'll eat at a restaurant I've never eaten before. I want this day. It don't even have to be big, but this day will stand out outside of the rest. So a few years ago, I went to Hippie Hollow for the first time.
That's my favorite spot.
And it was like this year, like I ate at, Sam's Barbecue over there on 12th Street. I used to stay over there all the time. Never went over there. I'm like, let me go here. And so I remember that because it was something that stood out to me. So, those are the type of things, like, make memories. All right, I'm done with my rant.
Well, so I just want to add a little piece to this too, right? Because I do agree with you. Oftentimes, most times, being stagnant is where shit happens, right? But I also believe that there are times where being stagnant is also a part of the journey. And depending on what you're really, really doing, where you're operating at in that space, I know for me personally, I had to fucking be stagnant. I had to sit still. I had to sit down. I had to go through some shit. I had to grieve. It took a long time. I think I can say today I'm on the other side of the grieving process. Like, you never get over it, but I don't think that it controls my daily. Like, I didn't even know that it did, but it did. So I think that there was a lot of downtime I had. There was a lot of time where you could ask me every fucking Friday, what'd you do? And I'll be like, the same thing I did last. But there was also in that time where you had to find a comfort with discomfort. You had to find a comfort with, being out of your comfort zone, right? Or you stay in that place and you just wither away and you be miserable. And that's not what I was going to do, right? So I think depending on how you use that stagnant time, depending on how you use that sitting still time, if it's not for purpose, if it's not with purpose, then it is counterproductive. I mean, I don't want to sit here and talk about this and be like, damn, I'm feeling some type of way about they shit. Cause I'm like, I know I didn't sat out a lot, but I had to emotionally, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to go sit out for a while, but that was part of where I'm going, right? I had to do that to get to where I'm going.
No, I'm absolutely a person of routine. And I believe, routine, you got to have habits to give yourself stability in life in general. You shouldn't just be all over the place. But I'm saying even within those routines, just do certain things to break out of the routine periodically. And that's like, okay, go to a restaurant that you've never been to before. Go have a meetup. Go to a freethinkers in person. Those things are going to stand out within the daily routine or the weekly routine of what you're doing. Then those things will stick out.
Yeah.
And by the way, shout out to everybody who showed up to our in person last week. It was a good time as usual.
As usual.
Good conversation. The overlying theme of the conversation was F them pennies. No, I'm joking, but
so many times this week. Look, that same night, Kurt called me. ATX dad called that same night. And he was like, dog, I just went to the corner store and bought some coffee.
He told me that too. He texted me that.
He's like, they didn't.
It literally happened to me the day before too. Right.
They wouldn't give pennies. So ironically,
gave me a nickel.
I was at that very next day I was out with my son, and I don't remember where we went, but I didn't have any more fucking dollar bills on me. And my card, I was waiting for a new card to come. So like I had the number in my phone, but I didn't have the hard copy of the card yet. And like I'm brand new like that. Like I don't do the tap pay shit, right? So like I need the card. And I usually have cash on me, but I just didn't realize I didn't have much cash that day. So I had a couple dollars, had a couple singles, and I needed to pay for some shit. I thought about you. I almost called you too. I'm digging out quarters, pennies, nickels, and dimes out of my change to be able to pay for whatever it was I needed to purchase. But I was like, look, Q would have put all this shit in the dumpster. I'm taking all these quarters, pennies, nickels, and dimes because they all make dollars. And that's exactly what my son said when we talked about it this past weekend. So that was a great conversation, honestly. It really was.
We could actually have a deeper conversation about that.
You know, part of the parking lot conversations turns into whatever the hell happens at 9:31. And it always is, but it was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody who showed up last week. We had
everybody showing up. Yeah, we had
like I love seeing new faces. It's always wonderful to have other women there. You know, oftentimes I'm a solo roller when it comes to the in-person.
And this is another point, and then I guess we'll get into the topic. Anytime you're doing anything in any type of space, whether it's business, podcasting, debate groups, regular groups, whatever it is, don't get tired of inviting people. Like a lot of people that you see, I may have invited them 30 times already.
Right.
And it's not, you don't have to take it personal. A lot of times you just have not become a part of their weekly routine.
Right.
And you may have to just catch them on the right time where they may have stuff going on Tuesdays. And for this one, well, I ain't got nothing going on. Let me show up this time. Or like, oh yeah, he been inviting me this many times. Let me go ahead and show up. You don't know. But just part of growing your business, your platform, your group, whatever type of movement you're trying to do, you just got to be persistent with it. And don't take offense when people don't show up. You're just not part of their routine. But one day they will be. And this is the thing that it took me a while to realize, but maybe over the last year and a half or two, outside of them shadow banning us, people come to me constantly talking about they heard certain things that I said. People are watching. So even if people are not commenting, they're not participating, they're still watching. And I want to give them every opportunity to be a part of it as well. And when they feel comfortable enough, when they have the time, then they'll show up. And and whatever time they do that'll be the right time.
It will. And it always is. And all they got to do is come to one usually, right? Like you're either just gonna like us or you're not gonna like us at all. But there's just something special about in person. So we're gonna have a fantastic December last Tuesday. More details as the next week or so rolls out. But definitely pay attention to the Facebook page. Join us. We have a Instagram channel too now. It's Freethinkers Worldwide. So just like the YouTube channel, Freethinkers Worldwide, of course, join and subscribe to all of those if you haven't. Most of all
I need to subscribe to that. I don't know if I can join. I don't be on there. Only time I'm on Instagram is when I'm looking at ratchet stuff.
That's the glory of having a co-pilot, right? Isn't some shit that you ain't got to do. I'll just let you know that it's there, and then you just tell people where to go. But slowly, of course, trying to grow those platforms. But we'll have more information, of course, about the December last Tuesday. We're gonna have a conversation, but we're definitely gonna try to do more of a celebration, celebration of friends, celebration of the last year, because we just went back, in person, probably I guess a year now, right? So this might be our year of being back in person since COVID has taken that completely out of our routine. And we're going to do a diaper drive. So we decided that, it's after the holidays, unfortunately, after Christmas. So doing, toys for kids and things like that might not necessarily be the most important, but never do parents not need diapers. And honestly, a lot of people need diapers. So, whether we get 5 packs, 10 packs, 20 packs, 100 packs, whatever, we're doing a diaper drive. So we ask everybody that's coming to donate a package of diapers for those of our friends who are not here, in 512 to be able to show up. We've got Cash App that we can use. You can donate, whatever the case may be. And then we will get all of those diapers and baby supplies to one of our organizations, here locally, and get those to moms and dads, people who are needing diapers. So definitely put that on your agenda, that it's a reason to show up, for more than just a social time or, meeting new people. Like, we definitely want to, help where we can. And so, hopefully we'll be able to do more of these things on Tuesdays, our last Tuesday, as we grow, and just, do a little something within our community to try to help out. So last Tuesday, December, I believe it's the 30th, put that on your calendar if you're in 512, and just stay tuned for details of the event this week.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good time. No doubt be a good time.
Okay, so you put this post up. Is that right? Were you the one who put this post up?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a post, and it's talking about the topic that we're talking about today is enabling. And we're gonna watch it. I mean, I think certain. Okay, so let me just say, let's talk about before we get into it. Talk about enabling. Sometimes people say the right thing, but so it's not about them what they're saying is wrong, but you kind of question the motivation of why they say it. Or sometimes I feel like, yeah, that's true, but you're still you're focusing on the pinky toe of the elephant versus the larger part. So sometimes and I think part of this conversation gives me the vibe like, yes, it's true, but I don't know if that's necessarily the biggest focus of it. I don't know if it should be the biggest focus of this conversation. So
Okay.
let's look at it and get into it. Hopefully this stuff loaded the way that I want it to.
It's on the Facebook group page if you're interested in the video. It's posted there too.
Yeah. Let's see if this is the first.
Complaining more than you take accountability. I'm not pouring into that.
Part. Let me see.
I don't like helping people who are comfortable with their bad habits, because at that point I'm not helping you. I'm enabling you. I'm not about to pour my time, my energy, or my wisdom into somebody who has zero intention on changing. Some people don't want guidance. They just want to be comfortable. Some people don't want advice. They just want attention. Some people don't want to grow. They want somebody to blame when their life doesn't move. And I refuse to play that role. If you're okay with being lazy, I'm not pushing you. If you're okay with repeating the same toxic cycles, I'm not saving you. If you're okay with complaining more than you take accountability, I'm not pouring into that.
Okay, that's the first half of it. The second half of it, kind of say more of the same. We'll look at that in a second. But what are you thinking so far, Nikki?
I felt a couple different things, right? That's why I shared the video. I was like, we got to talk about this, because I think that there is a fine line. I don't think that I know there's a fine line between helping and enabling. And in theory, she's not wrong. She is not wrong, because at the end of any illness, at the end of any dysfunction, at the end of any whatever, you can't help somebody that doesn't want help, and you can't change something that you don't acknowledge needs changing. So to her point, I 100% agree with her. However, and today me is super okay with saying just that. I agree with that, period. Right? But then I'm going to back it up with, however, the helper and the healer in me knows that.
Ooh, I got it.
Knows that sometimes you do have to be the catalyst. However, you do have to know where the fine line is drawn to know when you are being sucked into a dysfunctional, enabling, codependent situation, or if you truly are helping somebody. So in theory, I do not disagree with her. I 100% do believe what she is saying to be true. This is true.
Right.
However, and that's what all my notes are about in the last 30 years of my profession. However.
So, yeah. Yes, and that's the so this was, and that's the question. Are you helping or enabling? And to kind of go back what I was saying earlier, I think a lot of times people use the excuse of I don't want to be an enabler because they just really don't want to help. Sometimes I hear people use that as an excuse when they actually just don't want to help you. So you got to watch out for that too. Yes.
I'm not
Well,
going to
maybe
say
you don't.
that
I get that.
doesn't happen, but that doesn't seem to be like that would be a more common response than people more easily being able to get sucked into trying to help somebody, as opposed to, oh, I don't want to be an enabler. You think people just genuinely don't want to help other people sometimes?
Yeah, I absolutely think that. A lot of times people don't want to help, and then they cloak it under I don't want to enable you. Now, again, what she said was right.
Right.
But
Okay. So
I want to. What you say?
I said, so you agree with her too? Okay, you agree with her
In
statement.
principle, yes.
Okay.
The statement itself, if I isolate the statement, then yes, I do agree with that. But it's still things to where that rule doesn't apply for everybody. And so this is my I guess this is my pushback, is because a lot of people who just don't want to help nobody, they'll listen to that statement and they'll run with it and not knowing, like, yeah, what she said was right, but that don't apply to you. You only do what, and see, there's a difference between doing what's only comfortable for you at times that you feel like doing it. Like a lot of times your friends and people who want you and need you, they will reach out to you at the not the most opportune times. And are you going to be willing to drop what you're doing to, and I'm not saying drop everything, drop your whole life, but maneuver some things around to make your friend or make that person a priority. And sometimes it's like, well, no, I need my peace and they don't do this for me. And I hear a whole lot of different excuses to where some people just don't want to help. They just don't want to help.
And I agree.
This is an easy out for them to use a lot of times when they don't want to help.
Sure.
Think about this, because it's usually two things. It's usually two things. It's money and time. People don't want to, if they got money, then it's fine. Or let me say, if they have a healthy flow of income, then it's fine because they know it's coming right back. It ain't no big deal to them for some people. But if your money tight, then it's harder for you to want to help somebody. And just say your money tight. Yeah, my money tight right now. I can't really do nothing. I'll do what I can do, but that's one of the things I can't do. A lot of people don't like to admit when the money tight and they just ain't got it. Like, people don't like admitting that. So it's like, oh no, if I do that, then I'm enabling. No, it's not. You just don't have money right now. Say that. Or that person can't do anything for you. Or the other thing, which is probably the bigger thing, is time. People do not like giving up their time for things that's not a priority to them. Even for people who are a priority to them, this is what you'll find also. Man, I'm going in a lot of different directions.
No, I'm going all over the place trying to follow you too. I'm like, we're going everywhere.
You will learn a lot of times that people, they like you for certain spaces that they provide. So if Nikki is the fun person who I can go hang out with and party, and she fun, but she ain't gonna let people be on that BS, and she's just the type of person I want to hang out with. Oh yeah, I like Nikki because of that. But when Nikki say, hey, I'm going down to help feed people under the bridge, you want to come? Oh well, I got other stuff I'm doing. Then no, we don't want that Nikki. We don't want activist Nikki. We want the fun hip hop Nikki. Like, you know what I'm saying? And people will like you for certain things, but you'll find out that they don't really they don't like the whole of you. They like you in areas that make them feel good.
True.
I could keep going, but I'll let you jump back in.
Well, a few things that you said that I, have pinned in my mind, and some of the things I have in my notes too is, even what you say, right? Like, even if a person doesn't want to help, or even if a person doesn't have the capacity, whether it's time, space, physicality, financially, whatever, it's okay to not want to help people too. You have the right to not have to want to help people. Like, you are entitled to say no. You can say no. You can say no. You don't have to want to help people. doesn't make you a bad person. You know, I don't think so. I think that is also part of boundaries and part of stepping away from codependent and enabling relationships and dynamics is having boundaries, having them defined, and, you know, certainly putting them into action when they need to be done. So if saying no is part of a boundary, you know, people shouldn't be made to feel bad about that, and people shouldn't, you know, question themselves.
You know, oftentimes people
Am I
make
not a
themselves
good
feel
friend?
bad
Am
about
I
it.
not a partner? Am I not a good blah blah blah? No, you have to have boundaries sometimes. You not sometimes, always you have to have boundaries.
Right.
You just have to decide where they are.
Now, you know what's a good identifier, a good question to ask yourself? How often, when was the last time, or how often do I tell people no?
Right.
And when I say no, I don't mean giving no BS excuses. Oh, my daughter got to go to school. No, just say, no, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Right.
See, because if you can't just say no, then that's a you problem, to where you're not in a mental space to help people because you're feeling obligated, and then that's why you feel used, because you didn't know. If you know how to say no when it's necessary for you to say no, then you don't feel this extra weight to please people, because it's not about pleasing people. It's about you doing what you're doing because you want to, not because you feel forced some type of mental pressure or whatever like that. It's just because I'm doing it because I choose to. And when I say no, then it's just no. Oh, you're not gonna be no, I'm not gonna be well, what? No. See, and like I said, I ain't saying making excuses. Oh, my son got a soccer game. See, you trying to soften the blow. When was the last time you just said no?
Right.
If you don't have that tool to just say no, then you're probably not in a healthy enough space to help people. Because then you'll be feeling like you're getting used all the time, because you often saying yes. And then some people like, look, if it was that big of a deal, why didn't you just say no? Like, some people like, I didn't make you do anything. So you have a person that's feeling like they're being made to do something, and like, no, ain't nobody make you do that. You put that pressure on yourself. I just asked the question.
Right.
So a lot of times people put too much pressure on themselves because they don't know how to say no when it's necessary. That's my thought.
I don't disagree with you on that. I think a lot of people are by default people pleasers. There's a great book about people pleasing. There's many great books about people pleasing, but I think a lot of people by default are people pleasers. It's just the nature of, I think, most nice people, right? Like most people who, you know, be helpful, right? Like, you know, again, it's all about boundaries and fine lines. And there are definitely fine lines drawn in between these places where you cross the line and now you've entered into a dysfunctional dynamic with somebody, whether it's platonic, whether it's romantic, doesn't matter. It's not always just exclusive to, you know, a partner type, you know, intimate partnering type of situation.
Ivory and me and Ivory did a show about nice people a long time ago, and it sounded like we were just dogging nice people. Like the whole show was about us talking about the poor attributes of nice people. Was really, I'm like, I didn't expect it to go this way, but it was a dragging session because it's nice. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, keep going.
I was just saying, you know, they say the quote, you know, the internets have the quote that no is a full answer, and it is. It is. No, it's okay to say no. I learned as a child it was very okay to be told no, and it was just, that's what it is. There's you don't get to come back and ask why, because I said so. Don't ask again. So no is a boundary. I don't like that, I appreciate that.
I don't like doing that with kids, but yeah, well, no, an adult, if they don't get to ask me why. If you ask me for something and then no, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Well, you could just no, I'm not gonna be. That's why I just say. And see, this is the other part why you don't give soft excuses when you really just don't want to do it. Because when you give an excuse, then people are looking for ways to overcome that excuse and be like, well, why don't you just take them on this day and then you can come on this day instead? And the truth is, right. Well, why don't you just do it? Or they'll be like, well, you know what? I'll just wait till next weekend, so then that way you'll be
Let me make it convenient for me to use you. What the fuck? Wait a minute.
But if you would have just said no, then that would have eliminated people trying to come
Right.
up with resolutions.
We should have a conversation about saying no. Have we ever done saying no? Have we ever had that topic?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm putting it in my notes.
All right, so play this again.
Right,
We're gonna play
notes.
this first part again. Ivory, Gina, tell me what y'all think about this. We played it earlier.
I don't like helping people who are comfortable with their bad habits, because at that point, I'm not helping you. I'm enabling you. I'm not about to pour my time, my energy, or my wisdom into somebody who has zero intention on changing. Some people don't want guidance. They just want to be comfortable. Some people don't want advice. They just want attention. Some people don't want to grow. They want somebody to blame when their life doesn't move. And I refuse to play that role. If you're okay with being lazy, I'm not pushing you. If you're okay with repeating the same toxic cycles, I'm not saving you. If you're okay with complaining more than you take accountability, I'm not pouring into that.
I got more to say, but Ivory, what you?
Boo.
Yeah.
I said boo.
Ivory said boo. I'm kind of like on boo there.
I guess my issue, and I guess it's really how you approach life and people. And my approach to people is not that people are some 1, 2, 3 step perfection process.
Right.
And that if you're not completely on path, on message, and you're not going to make it there, and I can't tell that you're going to get where you're supposed to get in
Right.
2 years, I can't do this with you. I mean, that's just not how I see people. That's not how I see the journey of life. And then also realizing so many things are so much easier for other people than other things. And so I'll use this as an example. I met my friends in college, and I spent years challenging their beauty standards around being African American. It probably took 5 years before we were having the same level of conversation about beauty standards that were healthy. Well, why is that though? I'm like 3rd generation Black power. You know, that was an easy thing for me, but it was going to take years of pouring love and information into them for them to get it. Something that just I got growing up. So sometimes we approach people with this, you don't got it yet, you don't got it yet.
Right.
And a lot of the reason we got it ain't even us.
Right.
It's other people, it's our parents, it's other people who poured into us and gave us all this amazing love and information. And then we want to have 3 conversations and say, oh, I'm done with this. And I just think it's just a really sucky way to approach other human beings. So that's it. I'm done.
Agree with that. Gina, you on or you just listening right now? And Gina might just be chilling in the background. Well, yeah, Ivory, yes, I definitely agree with that. And even like with some of the verbiage that she was saying, like if she said comfortable with, if you comfortable with your bad habits, okay, that's an assessment on your part. Who's this? Did they say that they were comfortable with their bad habits? So some of the just some of the words and language that they use, zero intention of changing. That's another thing that she said. How do you, because you don't see the progress at the rate that you want to see it, then you're saying they have zero intention of changing? Those are some of those, like, how many people do you know that literally really have zero intention on changing? You can't have some. Would you say that that's the majority of people that you know?
You can't know that. You can't know who has zero intention on changing, because you don't know if at any point, what day between now and the time that they die, might they, I mean, you know, we're supposed to use history to foresee the future, right? Like we do have to be realistic about people's patterns and people's past, but that doesn't always mean that that's just who they're destined to be. A person can decide at any moment that I want to do something different. So to your point, you know, I think that also some of the words that she chose, I think that her issue is that she has probably very much been in an enabling relationship and she's fucking tired. So instead of figuring out what my part is in this dynamic I keep finding myself in, it's, oh, I'm not fucking helping anybody anymore, ever again. You're on your own. You know, it's like hella defense mechanisms, right? Because I do still think that at any moment a person can wake up and decide, I don't want to do this anymore. And this is the first day of my new life. Every day
And
isn't.
it could be enabling, and also some people have God complexes. Like they really do. They really think that because they graced you with their advice or opinion, that some magic was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Because I gave you some of my time and my expert wisdom.
Why
Now
aren't you
let the magic fall on you? And you know, like people really do have God complexes.
Yeah.
And then when they realize
You know what
they don't
irritates me,
have that
Alex?
level of influence to just snap their fingers and make people change, then they're upset sometimes, which is just ridiculous.
One
I
thing
think
that
it could
irritates me
also
when I hear
be
people.
like a two-ended sword as well, because, and I'm sorry, I'm a comer. I look a little through because I'm on recovery mode over here, but I think it could be a two-ended sword as well, because, you know, on the same token where you have to lead people to the water to make them drink, of course, you know, to weed out being an enabler, but also people have to want it to get it. But on that same token, you have to save space, and I will also say grace for those who become mentally drained, because sometimes it's so hard for people to ask for help or anything like that. So you have to save space, you know, even if they get to a point that, you know, sometimes reach out to those people that just are so guarded to a point where I'm just going to try to suffer without asking for the help. You know, you have to know people to say, hey, you know, I haven't heard from such and such in a while, or, you know, the last time I was with them, the energy was off. Let me actually, you know, see if they need the help, you know. So I think we can't come so consumed in you've helped the person for so long, or forcing them to be this strong person that doesn't even feel comfortable for the need for help without it being necessarily enablement, but just a person, you know, needing genuine help.
Now, certain parts of what she was saying, it depends on what type of help you're giving. So if you keep giving money to somebody who got a gambling problem, yeah, no, you probably shouldn't do that. That's don't do that. And I don't care. I need money to eat, and I ain't got no groceries in it, but they got a gambling problem, and you know every time they money, that's where the money. No, I'm not gonna give you the money.
Mm-hmm.
I might get you some groceries if I feel like it, but I'm not gonna help you in that. That's not the way I'm gonna help you. Because then, yes, that is being silly. But there's certain things people get upset when they give people advice. Giving somebody a ride to work when they need a ride, or get helping. Like, if that ain't in you to do, just say it ain't in you to do. Don't try to act like you fake nice, and then you cover it up and all of that BS, talking about I don't want to enable somebody who ain't trying, just because you just don't want to be fake nice no more. I know I'm talking two different sides, but I mean, there's elements to both of those in there.
That person exists. A lot of those people exist. I think sometimes, for me in particular, because I don't think like that, and I try not to associate with people like that, I kind of forget that people that really fucking exist. And that's what
a lot of people are fake nice right now.
There's people out there like that, right? But there's a lot of people that are out there like that. I agree with you 100%.
So how do you decide what's the line between helping and enabling? Like, how do you decipher that line?
Well, you have to know what enabling is first, right? Like, you have to know what that behavior looks like before you can say, okay, well, where does the line need to be drawn? You know, does my contribution to this dysfunction continue to oil the wheel of dysfunction, right? Is my consistently throwing a life jacket on this situation preventing this person from experiencing a natural consequence, right? Am I continuing to oil this wheel of dysfunction by what I'm contributing to this system?
Or let me add this part to it, not even the
Yeah,
consequence. I would say, is my behavior actually stunning their growth, whether it's mental, physical, financial? Would they actually have the chance to be further along if I wasn't this constant crutch or allowing them to stay blind to, actually making progress?
Well, so that's, to me, I hear you say that. To me, that's almost the same thing as preventing a person from experiencing natural consequence, right? For every action, there's an equal reaction. So if I stopped bailing this person out, would they then become homeless? Would they then lose their car? Would they then lose their place to live? Would they then, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of
hard to quantify. I think that's just hard to know, Quentin. Though I think that's one of those things that's just too hard to know. I don't know.
I think some things are easy though. If I keep giving my drug addict friend money,
yes, that part.
Chances are they're going to keep it high.
Right.
Some things
could be quantify.
I was thinking more in cases of people who just keep getting in bad relationships, right? Or keep whatever. It's like, am I enabling you by letting you vent about these horrible relationships to me all day, and it's you on your fifth one, like stuff like that. So like,
no, you can let them vent, but don't say you all, girl, you all right. You know he's wrong for that. No, you better make them. If you're not making them look in the mirror, then you are enabling them,
right?
And they keep coming to you, talking to you because you keep on telling them, girl, you all right. I have a few select friends. A lot of people will not come to me with type of stuff like that because the first thing I'm gonna do is have them look in the mirror. And people who don't want to look in the mirror, they will not come to me for advice or tell me about their stuff because that's what I do.
But I like what Nikki was saying, because I think what I always ask myself, because I think people normally do things in cycles. Like they go in a little circle that they're comfortable with. Even if to them it feels super painful, it's still a cycle normally. And then I ask myself, am I in any way a part of this cycle? Like, am I inside this cycle or outside this cycle? If I find out I'm a part of the cycle, then I need to figure out a way to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like I can't be a part of the cycle.
Oh, I was about to say something. Okay, let me show the second half of this and then see where we at with that.
Complaining more than you take accountability, I'm not pouring into that. I'm not babysitting grown adults who don't want better. You cannot help somebody who loves the comfort of their own dysfunction. You can't elevate someone who keeps choosing the same excuses. You can't pull somebody up who's committed to staying down. So I'll help anybody who's trying. I'll pour into anybody who's actually putting in effort. But if you're cool with your bad habits, if you're in love with your own mess, if you want results without sacrifice, I'm not enabling it. Because at that point, I'm not helping you grow. I'm helping you stay stuck. And I'm not doing that for nobody.
So first, what I told Nikki earlier, it sounded like she speaking from a teleprompter. So I don't know if hopefully that's something that she wrote. But
I was hoping she wasn't AI when I seen it earlier, but I mean, AI has gotten so good, y'all. I just was like, is she a real person?
She sounds like she's trying to replicate the one girl. Who the girl from tonight's conversation?
No, Keita is way better. No,
of course she is.
Keita Rose.
I love it.
It's two of them. But
what's the other girl name?
One is Kitty and one is Keita, but she sounds like she's trying to be one of them.
I think Kitty. Yeah, I think she's trying to be Kitty. Yeah, she's
okay. Not Keita, but Kitty. She sounds like she's trying.
Yeah, she's trying to be. She's trying to be another version of Kitty. You know what I'm surprised about, or maybe
this girl didn't have balance to me. Kitty has good balance. This woman in the video.
Oh yeah. No, I think she's going through the motions. She's going through the motions. Yeah. That's why I said I think that wasn't even an original thought. Like just you and I talking, she reading off of something. She had a prepared speech that she tried to make seem like it was in the middle of a conversation.
Sure.
But you know, whatever, do you got the clip, you got us watching it, so good for you.
Talking about you.
I'm surprised. Maybe I would have predicted that after Kevin Samuels passed, that it would be like 30 different Kevin Samuels wannabes who would have came out trying to step into that spot.
They are.
And that's
They
what
just
it
don't have
probably. I just
podcasts.
don't be watching.
Yeah, you just don't watch. It is.
Okay, that's what I would have figured. I'm like, man, I figured there'd be so many people trying to grab that audience. But yeah, you're probably right. So my question is, besides what she was saying, whether you agree or disagree, how do you feel about people who vocalize those type of statements?
You talking about the lady? The things that
Yes.
she's
Yeah, or people like that who vocalize it. Just be like, well, you know, like it's one thing even. So it's one thing to even think it, but for you to profess it and stick your chest, like that in itself makes me question a person when they try to speak, kind of like Ivory said, you speaking from a position that you got it all together, or like it almost seemed like you got a God complex where you would make these assumptions that nobody else is trying if they're not, they're not worthy of your help or your assistance. Now she did say she would help people, but that ain't the tone of what I heard though.
Well, and that's why I said what I said in the beginning. Like there's a fine line between the two, and I don't think that she's coming from I think she's coming from a place of she's still wounded from being a part of the problem. She's still wounded from being complicit to being somebody that was probably in a relationship with somebody that she was an enabler to. She probably has felt the consequence of being a repetitive enabler. Like you can't come out of a relationship of any sort where you've been an enabler and you felt the fucking pain of what you put yourself through in the name of love, right? Or in the name of being a good person, or in the name of trying to help, and not feel used, disrespected, neglected. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're naturally going to feel some type of way. I feel like she's still in her angry space, right? I feel like she's still in her, maybe it's the God complex. I'm not quite sure, because I don't disagree with what she said, but I could say those same things and they wouldn't sound that way. They would still sound like, however you want it, I'll give it to you though. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're ready, I'll meet you right there. As opposed to closed, shut off, completely. Having walls and having boundaries is not the same things, in my opinion.
It's almost like an ultimatum type of conversation.
Nikki. Walls and boundaries are two completely different things.
Very.
People putting up walls
tonight.
all the time.
Speak to that, Ivory. Speak to that.
Well, I was telling my friends, like, a boundary is like a line.
Mm-hmm.
We can both see it. I can explain it. We can talk about it. We are still looking at each other. And we're still negotiating this boundary. If you step over it, we can still have a conversation about it. I can maybe gently push you back over it. You know, there's still a level of flexibility and negotiation that can happen around a boundary, but we both know it's there. A wall is just that. It's inflexible. There's no conversation. There's no negotiation. There's no room to clear up miscommunication. And a lot of people are just putting up walls and they're calling them boundaries. It's not the same thing.
Hold on.
Not the same. And you operate in a completely different space. When you operate in a space of boundary, you have self-protection as number one. When you operate in a space of wall, it's just fucking wounded. And I don't even want to address whatever it is. We're just keeping it out. Like, that's not a boundary. That's just keeping it away. But you're not doing anything to change its course of action of when it comes to get you, because it's going to come get you. A boundary is going to change how it comes to get you. A wall doesn't.
So, Ivory, what I was going to tell you, that's what you call a sound bite right there. Clip that and put that up. That's a good sound bite.
People and all these, it's just my boundaries. Baby, that is not a boundary.
No.
And like, you're not, Nikki, I think that's the part people don't realize. You put up those walls, you are not growing anymore.
No. the journey is stagnant. And we talked about that at the very beginning. And sometimes, and you miss this part, Arby, I do believe that sometimes you have to be in a stagnant space. And I, acknowledge some of my stagnant places with grief and things like that I had to go through to get to that place, but never were they stopping growing. So to your point, and it was
it appears stagnant, but it's not. It's actually you processing. Yeah,
towards the direction of betterment. That's what boundaries do. You don't have to like them, but they're there to keep me safe, first of all, and then you, when it's all said and done. Wall is absolutely. I think part of that's denial. I think part of that is just is denial, 100%, because you're not addressing.
Nikki, I would even say that's not being stagnant. That's just being still. I think still and stagnant is a little bit different. I wouldn't call that being stagnant because you're still processing. You're doing there are things, just like I gave you the analogy. I think when we were talking about the topic on the thread, I said whenever you see a plant or a tree, it grows under the ground before you ever see it grow above the ground. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that there's not movement going on.
Right.
And that's what irritates me the most about this speech, when you say you ain't trying to do nothing, you have no desire to do. You don't have the ability to see what's going on under the surface for you to make those type of statements. Right.
No, I don't like the energy that was behind what she said at all. I don't think that even if she had a good intention, I would never fucking talk to her. I would never go to her for help. Like I would never go to her.
No, Nikki.
I wouldn't.
No, this is what this is, Nikki. She's trying to cater to a potential base.
Well, of course. I mean, if we take
a whole bunch of people who like, oh yeah, I like that. Like they want to again, and they use that mindset to dismiss their own potential growth.
And what that further does, Q, is it enables more bullshit ass behavior, because there's going to be a population of women who are going to feel just like her, who are still in their thinking place, who are still wounded, who are still like, fuck everybody else, basically. I have all the answers, who are going to think just like her because they agree with the sentiments, which I agree with the sentiments too, but it's what you do with that. Right. And for me, I'm still going to try to pave a path, if there's one possible, to be, again, oil the wheel of whatever the journey of wellness may need to be for this person, as opposed to this lady. She's pissed off. And she's still resentful. You can hear the resentment in her words. She's still resentful. And that's not somebody that you're ever going to get to offer you what you need in a space where change needs to happen. Nobody fucking grows in that environment.
So let's get off of her for a second.
Okay.
Let me ask the both of you, how have you responded in times where you had to question yourself if you're being an enabler? How did you question yourself? What type of questions do you ask yourself? What type of actions or modes or things did you change or adjust or modify if you saw or realized that you may potentially have become an enabler for another individual?
Okay, so top of my head, two things I ask myself. Is there any fear of anything in this relationship?
You said any beer?
Fear.
Fear.
Fear. So I first ask myself, do I have any fear of anything? Fear of losing this person, fear of upsetting this person, fear. Like I go in my own self and say, Ivory, is there any fear around this relationship? If it is, we need to remove it. Second thing, apathy. Have you become apathetic in this relationship?
What's apathy?
You don't care, really.
Okay.
Because sometimes my enabling looks like I just stopped saying stuff I need to say or whatever because I've checked out. So that's the two things I first check myself. Is like, is there any fear in this? Is there any apathy in this? If I feel some fear in it, I'll sort through why and
Right.
what do I need to do to remove it. And then if it's apathy, you know, I'm a spiritual person. I know I need to pray for this person. I need to reconnect this person
Have a heart for them again on some
to
type of level.
God, and that God, this is a person that God loves, and that I need to reconnect to the spirit of this person so I can get a heart back for them again. So those are two things that I check myself on.
How do you check yourself in a situation where you think that you're enabling, or are you enabling? I think that is.
Well, let me rephrase, Nikki. Have you ever caught yourself being an enabler before?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But
Okay,
I think that, so where I was going to go with this is, I think that trying to find the right word. I think that the power in the weight that is the illness, and I'll call it an illness, of being an enabler, right? Because it keeps everybody in a sick cycle.
Right.
I mean, the power in the illness that is being an enabler is that you don't fucking know until you're like neck deep in it, right? And it's like, oh God, now you have to undo 9 years of Christmas lights that have been in a fucking box in the attic for 9 years, right? Like, now you got to somehow think, how do you undo all these parts? You have to ask yourself, what part do I play in this? Or else you're going to keep repeating those same cycles too. So I think that how a person finds themselves in the place where they're able to even question is going to be certainly different person by person, and depending on the situation that they're in. But absolutely guilty of being an enabler. And it's interesting because it only happened in intimate relationships. Never with my children. And I also, I come from a space where enabling was a word that was used oftentimes, in our family. The language of recovery certainly has a lot of different words that a lot of people have never heard before. So my dad didn't enable shit. We weren't, man, he called us on everything, which is why I am the way that I am and the way that I am with my children. But when it comes to oftentimes in intimate relationships, you think, oh, but he just, oh, but she just, oh, but they say they love me, and they do most of the time, so I think that that's the fucked up, I don't want to say beauty because that's the worst word to use. That's the fucked up, ugly part about enabling, is you don't know until pain has been inflicted, until usually damage is done, until you've absorbed some dysfunctional shit, and that's where a lot of people have the biggest conundrum is, but I love them. I'm trying to help. And that's one of the things, if you look into the definitions of enabling, it's generally done with the intention of a good intention. Most people who enable do it with good intention, with love, and I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help, and you have to ask yourself those questions.
When you were talking, it made me think of, since we were just talking about boundaries, and I'm like, I know for me a moment when I'm like, wow, I've been doing some enabling, because normally when you're enabling, you don't have clear boundaries with the person you're enabling with. Like they're stepping all on your stuff, right? And normally it's not until they like right up on you and they like stomping on your toe that you like, whoa, how did this happen? Like, because a boundary should be a little bit away from you. But normally, and I think the shock of it is you've already let them get away with so much more than you would have let anybody get away with. And you made all these excuses for them, and you did all these things. And it's like, after all that, you still walked up to me and like stepped on my toe. Absolutely. And I don't mean like literally it has to be physical, but
sometimes it is.
But it can be. But like sometimes it's just a friend that you let talk to you for hours about that thing or that whatever, and you held your tongue, or they seem like they might get upset if you told them the truth. Or then that one day you said something, they yelled at you, and you like, how did I get here?
Right.
How did we get down this road? I
Right.
did this. Like, this is, I have responsibility for this too. But it normally, to your point, like something crazy happens and you like, how long have I been allowing this?
Right.
This
That's
is
why
my
you got to
fault,
condition it
know?
has to take place sometimes. You have to condition people. Number one, you have to condition people to have, sometime when people have thin skin, I don't go all in on them, but I will condition you to have a little thicker skin.
Right.
And it can, because it can be dangerous for me to cater to your sensitivity so much that my message to you gets watered down to the point that it really has no flavor or effect to it. You don't want to get that far to it. So there's conditioning that takes place. I tell Ivory when I was little, I don't know if I think I told you this, Ivory, but Ivory used to get mad because I seemingly would get away with more stuff, especially staying out later and being gone and doing things like that.
Rules are
I
different.
don't know. But no, it ain't just, it's not just about boys being different. I knew that there was a conditioning involved too.
Right.
I knew that I had to get them used to me coming in later and later and later, so that when I did come in late, it wasn't a big deal, because I always come in around this time, and then if I come in a little bit later than that, but if I'm always in before the street lights come on, then you've created an expectation. Now in the wintertime it's 6:30. Where Quentin at? It's 6:30 here. No, but if Quentin ain't never here around 6:37, they don't have that expectation. You have to condition people to, and I've done that throughout my life. There's a lot of times, I do certain things on purpose. Okay, so even like with my wife is a very giving person in certain categories, and in other categories, especially when it comes to the refrigerator, she don't like people touching stuff off her plate and stuff like that. I purposely pull stuff off her plate every single time, every chance I get.
Oh, you raggedy.
Every time. Because I'm purposefully getting you out that habit of mine. When it comes, no, that ain't the way I like to live. I want you to be able to have anything on my plate. You have what's on yours. And the one thing I tell people a long time ago, I said, if you want to upset me, if you at my house, then you come ask me, can you have something in my refrigerator?
Yeah,
that's one of my rules.
Find the
Don't
refrigerator.
don't ask me. If you here, go in there and get whatever you want.
Right.
And so that's just the way that we operate it. And
Nikki, it's so hard.
my mom has on, hey mama, can I have some?
I have to try to explain this to people because there's nothing that's yours in the refrigerator at my, like, we just didn't grow, like nothing is yours in the refrigerator.
Same
And you
here.
can make I'm saying it's deep. You can make a to-go plate home from somewhere, and that's not even yours.
Community
No, but
property.
we put names, but that ain't.
Don't think about putting your
Don't
name
even
on
think
no
about
nothing
putting
in
your
that
name on it.
refrigerator.
There's no world
Not in my
in
house
which
because you expect somebody
Don't
else.
think about it.
No,
there's no world. So then if we're out to eat and my mom says, oh, what did you get? That looks good. That means give her some.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Like, we understand my mom saying, what did you get, Ivory? That looks good. Oh, it is. Try some, Mom.
Right.
That's what that means.
Right.
Just try some.
I at least try to respect my kids and let them have their first bite. I'll be waiting till they get their first bite. I'll be like, let me get some. How's it taste? What it tastes like? But no,
so us living in a world where we can't eat off of our spouse's plate is just not a world I would want to. I gotta be able to eat off your plate. Like, you
and see, I train my kids like that. First, as soon as they get something, hey, Dad, you want some of this? Here, try some of this. Like, we sharing from the jump.
It's one thing to offer. It's one thing to offer, but I will be pissed if you just reached across the table and helped yourself to my plate. Like, that would piss me off. I think that everybody's entitled
to decorum. We have decorum, but if they did it, then if I just reached over and grabbed something on my plate, then I'll lift my hand out the way. Here, go ahead. Get
between you and somebody else. How you do things is different than how the next person does things. But how you do things don't mean that's how I gotta do shit. But if this is my shit, you gonna respect my shit. And I want to give it to you because I want to give it to you. Not you thinking that you just obligated to what's on my plate. This ain't your plate.
I know, but that's the mindset though. I want to give it to you. I want to taste what's on your plate, and I want you to taste what's on my plate. That's a mindset.
This is where you get into trouble, right? Because you can't want it from me. You can want it all you want, but you can't. It ain't gonna make me want it any differently because that's what you want from me. No,
but I ain't just reaching and grabbing nothing off your plate though, Nikki.
That's the same thing.
I'll be thinking about it, but I have restraint. I'll be like, oh no, I ain't gonna let me.
It would behoove you to have some restraint. Absolutely.
But I mean, if you ever see me, if somebody be like, oh, how that taste? Oh, here, it's good. Taste it. Like if my first response is gonna be like, here, take some of this.
Absolutely.
But I think I'm sorry, go ahead, Nikki.
I'm sure at some point we've shared a fucking fork or a spoon. You know what I'm saying? Like there just comes a time where I'm super okay with that. Like I'll give you whatever. Like I'll share all the things, right? But it's only a small certain amount of people in situations where you just think you can because you can.
But hold on. But let me say that though. This is, and Ivory, you can go after this is one of those things. If I don't push that way, then it will go the other way. Then we'd be having names on in our stuff in the refrigerator. Like, no, we're not doing that at all. So I have to push on purpose to make sure it ain't going that opposite direction.
It's so funny. See, and I guess in my house, I was so mindful of stuff like that like we never put a name on someone's plate, right? But if you know that's like going to the refrigerator at the workroom, at the break room, that ain't your shit. Why are you eating somebody yogurt? You know you didn't buy it, you didn't pick it out, you didn't put it on the list, you didn't bring it from home. This ain't even your favorite. Like, this is not yours.
Yeah, I get it at the workplace. But at my house, then
this is Quinn. I was saying this. I did a marriage, we'll get together a few weeks ago. But I was telling the couples, like it's just socialization. Like my dad is the oldest of 8, so I'm sure they were not in their fridge respecting each other's boundaries.
Probably not.
So of course,
3 people in my house, so it's easy, right?
You talking about 10. Probably not all at the same time, but at least
right
in the house at the same time. Like he grew up with probably no boundaries in the fridge.
Absolutely,
and he brought that to our house. So, that it was his way at the house, and that's how he was. So, but I was just saying, like to Quentin's point, I think it's more about that meeting somewhere in the middle. And being upfront with people early on about like who you are, what makes you happy, what those boundaries and lines are, and how, like I said, a boundary is not a wall, so it should be negotiable. Like there should be some level of negotiation in a boundary too.
Negotiable, but it's movable.
Yeah.
The flexibility in a boundary. Yeah. Wall, that bitch don't go nowhere.
It don't move.
No. You're either bulldozing them down or you're building them back up. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I'm not bulldozing nobody down.
You don't want me, and I'm not going to fucking fight you. I'm good. I'm good.
No.
How do you tell your friends when you see that they are being an enabler in a situation?
Honestly, I just do. I just do.
It's an easy conversation for me. Like, yeah, well, Gavin, you the one that's enabling it.
It is me too, because I've had this conversation for all of my life, right? Like these are just words and concepts that are just bred into me. So I don't have a hard time having that conversation with friends. Like I don't have a hard time. A friend of mine recently was having a conversation about some women troubles, and I thought about it afterwards. I was like, damn, maybe I was really harsh in this conversation, but I meant what I said, and what I said was not inaccurate. You pick with the wrong fucking women. Stop picking a certain type of woman because you keep finding yourself in the same situation. Like you are continuing to stick your hand in the fire, thinking that one day it's not going to burn. No, you are your fucking own worst enemy. And this is basically what I said. And maybe there was a prettier way to say it with like hearts and shit, but I don't come from that space and expect not in that situation. No. So honestly, tell people honestly.
But you know what? That's the easy part of the conversation that we usually have. No, you're the one who's doing this. You the one keep picking
a lot of people. It's not.
No. I know. I guess for us, but my point is, the harder part of the conversation is what is it with you that keeps picking these people? What is it about your self-esteem or your self-worth that you feel like this is all you can get, or you feel like somebody is has the right to talk? What is it about you going on in you internally that allows this to keep going on? That's the harder conversation that
I agree.
most people don't have. Just telling somebody that you're an enabler, that's the easy part, which I don't have a problem with. But like I'm saying, me trying to tell somebody about their self-esteem and their self-worth and the hidden part of it that's causing you to be an enabler, that's a harder conversation. That's a harder conversation.
It is, but I also think that this is where you may or you may not have a gift in using yourself as an example. And you know, in a therapeutic profession, right, you're not supposed to give everything, right? But it's okay to disclose, right? Like you have to build some type of rapport and relationship with those that you're trying to hear, to get to hear what you're saying. So and it's like with freethinkers, I never have a problem being transparent about where I've been, who I am, you know, what I believe in, you know, and there's a lot of people who can't do that and are not comfortable with that. And that's a scary thing for a lot of people. I think that because I oftentimes with women in particular, or even with men too, when getting into conversations about bad relationships or just fucked up relationship patterns that we can't seem to get out of, because I'm guilty of that as well, right? And have been guilty of that in my past. But I know moving forward, that's not something I entertain. I am the proof that if you do the work, right, it can come to fruition. It will change. It will be different. You do not have to repeat the same cycles just because that's what's been normalized. And so when you're able to use yourself as a true example, it takes some of that shame away for a lot of people. It takes some of that, you know, judgment that, oh, you're telling me about him again, or you're telling me about her again, or you're, you know, I mean, I've had conversations with people about very, very, very personal abusive situations, right? That just being able to meet somebody where they are and sometimes disclose and obviously be able to speak from a place of experience. I didn't just read this in a book. This wasn't something that I got in a psychology class. Not as some shit I fucking lived. And generally people are open to hearing a message from somebody who also, you know, got their feet a little bit dirty too, right? Got some dirt up underneath their nails a little bit too. Doesn't mean it's the end all be all, not at all. But I think that is a huge catalyst to how you approach people, with this particular issue or this particular topic.
I also would just add, I'm learning now because I like to talk, but
You on drugs, Ivory?
no.
Get for real. I ain't doing no damn drugs.
No, she look like she on some drugs right now.
No, I think
Listen.
I'm probably about to start my cycle tomorrow or the next day. I'm just tired.
Well, look, I'm on drugs right now. Look, my back is messed up. I'm on drugs right now. I'm on that cyclobenzaprine. I'm telling you right now.
If you want the real, what part of my calendar you funny. I don't remember what
I didn't mean like cocaine or heroin. I was just saying, are you?
No, I'm just a woman.
She was on cocaine or heroin. We have a full fucking freethinkers intervention on here. I promise you. Because I'm gonna be honest, and I am not going to enable this shit. I promise you that.
Oh gosh. And I don't even remember what I was gonna say. It's all your fault, please.
Look at you. I'm just saying, you look like
I'm telling you, I'm gonna start my cycle.
I know. What? So that means it was a valid question then. I'm like, okay.
Golly, what was I gonna say? Let's say something else. I guess I'll figure it back out. I don't know.
Well, we were talking about how we have the conversation with people, like how.
Oh, yeah. I think I was gonna say I've also learned too, like
that part.
You sometimes you're so quick, you want to give advice, say something. When you could really just get really curious.
That's all I do.
Sometimes you ask people enough questions, they'll get down to the bottom of their own stuff, and you just realize people don't ask people a lot of thought-provoking questions about themselves, you know?
Or
that's kind of where I've been lately.
In addition to that, though, if you ask enough questions and you're attentive, you can also catch their capacity to receive that constructive criticism.
That's true too.
Sometimes I ask a couple questions, and based off of how they respond, then I'll know how far I can go with it. Some questions I ask, I'll be like, oh, I ain't about to go no further than that. They're not ready. And I won't.
This level.
Right. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well,
you still in blame deflection mode. I ain't about to go no further with this conversation.
Right. It's like when a person is blaming somebody else and you just ask them to do a simple self-reflection, like just real base level self-reflection. What do you think your part in any of this is? Oh, we don't need to try to be deep.
Like, okay.
We're not finna get into the deep root of why things happen in your life if I can't even get you to reflect on your part of something shallow. So
I'll leave it alone right there. I'm like, oh yeah, they're not ready. Not at all. Okay. Well, we started a little late, but we at 9:30 right now. We got any other thoughts we need to get out?
Well, I just want to add, there's this conversation about, enabling can go so many directions, and there is a lot of information out there. So in the Facebook freethinkers page, I'll put a bunch of links and just some more information, because a lot of people were like, oh, I have a lot of thoughts on this topic. And I think that's just because we've all ran into the word enabler, enabling, codependency. Like, we've all ran into that somewhere, some form or fashion. And a lot of people really don't know the difference between the two and want to maybe look at, well, what do I have to do to change this, or what can I do? And I mean, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of self-help stuff out there. So I'll put a bunch of stuff in the Facebook freethinkers page, just, for people who are interested, because it is a cycle, and it is a dysfunctional cycle. And in a relationship situation,
hold on.
Dysfunctional cycle.
I have one more question. Give me an example of good enabling.
That's hard to say, because enable is generally referred to as
often, but is it always? That's kind of the question I'm asking.
Right? I mean, you can enable, you could turn the computer on, enable the power switch. you can enable the carburetor, on the car. You can enable, enable.
Well, you know what? That's motivation. So like coaches.
Yes.
Hey, you can do it. You can beat this time. You can do you're enabling them to feel that they can do something that they.
That's not enabling. That's not enabling. That's not preventing them from natural consequences of their behavior. Enabling is preventing somebody from.
I said good enabling. But what I'm saying, okay, so I guess give me a better word other than motivating.
Enabling. I don't know if that exists. I don't know if that will be called enabling then. Enabling is generally with the negative connotation of preventing somebody from experiencing consequences because of their action. Is there a good version of that? I don't. Let me go to the Google.
Okay, so I give an example. This is what maybe I'll take it easy playing chess against Ivory. I can beat her and destroy her and, just destroy. But if I do that, then it doesn't necessarily enable her to get through the process to actually, there's some games and there's certain things that you play that if you don't give a person a chance, they don't even get an opportunity to learn.
Okay.
So sometimes you do have to, I'm thinking of this word enable, kind of allow them to get further than you would, or that you could, in order for them to kind of get the flow, to catch it, to feel like they're in it, to actually allow them to feel like they're in competition versus just getting all the way stomped out.
So let me tell you why I struggle with the concept of what you're saying, because.
Well, what word would you use instead of that? I'm guessing, but go ahead, say what you're gonna say.
Okay, so enabling is generally not considered good, as often as it perpetuates negative behaviors and prevents individuals from taking responsibility for their actions. The negative impact of enabling reinforces negative behaviors, prevents growth and independence. It takes an emotional toll on the enabler. So I don't know how there could be a good way to use. I don't know if you can enable somebody in a positive way.
Well, it sounds like you can without it being negative all the time. Like, say that same definition again.
It can't be enabling. It would have to be encouraging or motivating or, incentivizing or you know, I don't think that you could use the word enabling in a pod. I mean, by definition.
I don't know why you can't though. I don't know why you can't.
This is what I would say. I don't know if I would use. Okay, I see what you mean, Quentin.
Right.
I would
Look,
say
I don't know
more,
what I mean. I'm just talking through.
I know, but I would say more. There are moments in life with people where you carry them, which can almost look like enabling, right? And I think that sometimes it's okay, because I think there's times in our life that God carries us, where he doesn't let us feel the impact of our choices, where he you know, makes things keep working even when they're not supposed to work, despite our foolishness, you know. And I think I've had moments in life where I could see someone was not doing what they were supposed to do, and maybe my presence was still kind of carrying them. But if I ask the Holy Spirit, should I continue to do this? And it says, you know, yes. Then my assumption is God knew something that I didn't know, that this person just needed to be carried through this season, no matter what it looked like to me. Now, for me, God has to tell me that. Like, that is a feeling I have to have, a spiritual feeling I have to carry somebody in a way that seems enabling. Like, I won't do that.
Sometimes you can, like I said, you can carry a person for the purpose of helping them build their confidence. And by you carrying them, you give them the opportunity. Ivory, how well, I don't know, Nikki, if you watch this, how well do y'all remember Rocky 3?
I love Rocky 3.
Okay, so Rocky 3, Mickey.
Yes.
When he was sitting up there, when Mr. T finally, Clubber Lane, Mr. T finally called him out, like, you've been fighting all these has-beens and such. You ain't never came to fight me. And then when Rocky was like, all right, well, you want to fight me, then you got it. And then Mickey's like, nope, you fight them, then I'm out. And Mickey was like, basically, you can't beat this dude. He's like, what? And then Mickey told him, basically, I've been enabling you all this time. We picked some decent fighters for you, but it was always some little gimmick. They was over the edge a little bit. We always made sure that you fought the fights that you can win. Because, you know, at a certain point, you got some money, you got civilized, you had a family. We wanted to keep you champion, keep your confidence up, but we didn't have you fight the best fighters. And then Rocky was destroyed when he finally learned, like, yo, you think you were somebody, and then you realize you were nobody. So that was an example. But again, he was a nobody. He was he was somebody, you know, just a muscle man for mobsters, didn't have no money, didn't have this, and then they turned him into, he had houses and wife and kids and commercials and deals and all this. He actually became something. That enabling helped better his lifestyle. I'm just talking through this.
It always hurts later, though. But I mean, yes.
To you, but to Rocky, that shit fucked him up, because he was not given. He was not given what he could have had access to, because they kept that shit from him. They were preventing him from XYZ. They kept it controlled. They kept it, you know, they kept it very scripted, right? They were able to control all of the elements. So let's keep him down here, when who knows what he could have been, right? Had they exposed him to other fights.
I disagree with that though. Had he enabled him long enough to learn how to be a pretty decent fighter. Had he got knocked out early in his career, didn't develop, then he wouldn't have had none of the stuff. He wouldn't have gone through those bouts and fights, because he was still, you know, boxing is boxing. That still takes some work. He went through those fights, and ultimately Apollo Creed had to teach him how to be a different type of fighter, but he still had the foundation to be able to be that type of person. Had he never been enabled for all those years to actually learn how to become a world champion boxer, then he never would have even had the ability to come beat him in the second fight. I know we all into the movies, but I mean, hey.
Well, and again, it's a movie, right? So I think in real life, the principal theory.
Oh, it happened. Oh, in boxing, that happens all the time. In boxing, that fake story is a real life story in boxing. That happens more times than that.
Creating an environment where you control all of the bits and pieces, you are not allowing somebody into the natural environment to see
Nikki,
what they made of.
Nikki,
you are controlling every little bit and piece of it. You can't even
every boxing career. That's literally what they do.
You don't even know what your capabilities are. You don't even know how fast or how hard you can max out because you've never had to. They control who and what and to what intensity you were going to fight at or what you were going to produce or operate at. That's the control environment. That's the goddamn lab rat. That's a controlled environment.
They enable because they want to build people's confidence in their record. You take your favorite boxer. I don't care who it is.
Listen, for that.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. This ain't even fake. This is real life stuff.
For this. I know, but it's boxing.
This is real life. Listen to what I'm saying. In real life, they literally, I promise, take your favorite boxer. Go look up Wikipedia. I promise you, the first 10 to 15 fights are people that you have never heard of in your life.
Of course.
They all have losing records. They're no-name people because they are enabling them to get their confidence up, to get used to being in the ring, getting people used to seeing them. They are setting them up with fights that they literally cannot lose.
Now,
so a person coming into a fight 15-0 literally means nothing because they fought a bunch of nobody.
This is the problem though with the example. That might be good for just trying to make some money or make a name, but you're talking about the game of life. So let's use the exact same example. I set my homegirl up with 15 bums. And she like, they all love me. I've done her a disservice because the dude she like, if she ain't got her stuff together, if she bumming out here, the dude she like don't like her.
Right.
Just because I put 15 bums in your face and they all said you was the best ever. Oh my God, I'm just so in love with you. Who cares?
No. Hold on. If this same person had the lowest of low self-esteem, she thought she was ugly, she was terrible, nobody liked her body was bad, her breath stink. She thought the absolute worst of herself, and you set her up with 15 bums that help increase her self-esteem to the point to where now, since you feel better, whether true or not, now you start dressing better. Now you start getting into your makeup and seeing how you want to do things differently. You get your hair done, you get your nails done. You start enabling that person to actually do more for themselves with their low self-esteem than they ever would have done. Now they might be walking around with this false sense of self-esteem, but
it only works for a time period.
It can help get you to the next level, though.
No, it don't. No, it don't, because you're only fixing the outside. You are not fixing the inside. So you get to that next level, and be bumped right
is on the inside.
Be bumped back down.
Sometimes
because
all you need is self-esteem.
You can fix the outside.
All you need is self-esteem.
If you don't fix the inside, you ain't fix shit.
I don't think we're gonna agree on this one.
But I think there's certain cases to where what they say. Okay, so this is it. We get out here in a couple minutes. So is fake it till you make it a real thing?
I used to think so.
Ivory, see, there you go, Ivory.
So
that right there, that's all I need.
I don't know.
That's all I need.
I don't know.
It can be.
I don't.
There's some people who fake it to them. There's a lot of rappers and people who faked it, and they had all the fake rented cars and fake jewelry and all of that, and they got enough popularity and people listen to their music till they actually got the real stuff.
This is the problem with fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it only works if you're not faking somewhere else. So fake it till you make it don't work faking your whole life. Fake it till you make it don't work if you faking with your friends, if you faking with your family.
If it's your whole life, then you never make it. At some point in time, you're supposed to make it.
But I'm saying some people
fake it till you fake it. It's fake it till you make it.
Just faking it, right? And I think it's okay to pick areas of your life to fake it till you make it, but you have to have some areas of your life where you are being for real about who you really are and what's really happening.
Sure.
So that's why I did like this, because I'm like, yes,
I know,
no.
because it can go the other way too, Ivory.
Mm-hmm.
It can go the other way.
It can also be a form of enabling, because you ain't doing shit. You just telling yourself you are.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Good enabling.
No,
you
I don't
yourself to walk into a space until you actually, to a point you actually deserve to be in that space.
I think that there are spaces and times where fake it till you make it does work, but I think that it. I think that it also creates, or it also comes from a dysfunctional space too, right? Where you you can create a space where you allow yourself to ignore what's happening. You are denial. You allow yourself to stay in or you allow yourself to get into a place of denial with fake it till you make it. I think
Cardi B is a good example of fake it till you make it.
Which part about her though? As a rapper?
As a rapper, as she got the personality, but you make yourself look a certain way till you actually look a certain way. You can't rap, but you keep on rapping. You start getting hits, and then over time, then you actually became successful, and you actually have a place in this society. But she wasn't. I think that's a good example of faking it until you make it.
No, we might disagree about this. I think with people like Cardi, she still had a star quality that people liked even before any plastic surgery, whatever. It was something about her that people just liked.
Sure, she had personality. Yeah.
So I can't say that's complete fake it till you make it. And one of the things people liked about her was she seemed like she was just being herself. So,
right.
Okay. I mean, I can't stand to listen to her talk, but I mean, for people,
right?
I'd be like, oh my God, what do people like about this? But I know people who love it.
All right, so guys, this is an example of maybe the best argument you've ever heard of somebody who don't actually believe in what they was arguing, but I can do it though. It's what I say. I don't know if I believe it or not, but what I'm saying is I can still pose the argument of the possibility.
Right, of course. Well, that's your moderator magic.
There we go.
Moderator magic.
With all that being said, y'all probably right.
I love
y'all probably
right. We may have to part 2 this too.
Yeah, hold on. So we got to do that soon. Remember we was talking about the lawyer stuff and where we pick we gonna randomly pick and you gotta defend a side, whatever side that you pick on.
Yeah.
And give a defense for it. We got to do that. I just gotta take the time to put that together. We're gonna do that soon.
Do we want to do that as a live panel? We'll talk about it, but we should do it.
Yeah, we got to figure out how we're gonna set up the format.
So we need a
podcast.
That's
one of the things in basic debate that they do is they'll kind of flip a coin about a certain topic, and
sure.
people don't like it'll fall on one side or the other, and they have to argue that side as if they believe in it, even though they may not necessarily believe in it themselves.
We need to do that like a Black Tea Talk. We need to do a panel. We need to invite people. Like that would be a great debate.
We could do a live free thinker.
When I was in college in my debate class, I had to argue for abortion.
Oh man.
And I won too. I was killing them boys. Because I know what the argument is. I was killing. It was like, dang, I'm like, I don't believe any of that, guys. But I was killing it.
Ooh, that's gonna be so interesting. I like that. I don't know if I've ever fought for something I didn't believe in. I don't know. I'm really good at fight for what I do believe in. I'm real good at that.
Is value and it's value in truly seeing the other side, even when you don't believe in it or agreeing with it.
Right. That would be interesting. Okay,
and
so
that's the first step to you. It's the first step to you actually being well-rounded in your thoughts. Have you truly fully examined the other side? Right. And could you give a defense for the other side of it? That lets you know that you really have connected to what they think and how they feel about it. And it gives more validity on how you feel when you see the other side's points, arguments, feelings. And even with all of that, I still can stand on my side knowing what I believe.
Right.
If you only believe what you believe and you really don't see or understand the other side, then you still kind of narrow-minded or limited. Yes, 100%.
That's a topic for another conversation.
I believe that wholeheartedly. Or how are you standing so hard on something when you don't see all sides? Your opinion itself has not been forged through the fire to come out as pure gold. That's what the whole purpose of debating, in my opinion, freethinkers is for.
That depend. I guess that could depend on who you ask. You ask the person who experienced it or the person who watched the person experience it, and that all depends on your perspective. That was a very interesting. That's ooh. We need to stop now. Put that on the list.
Okay, put it on the list.
Put it on the list. January is going to be nice. I think we got a great spicy spring coming up.
It's like some topics I completely agree with you on that, Quentin, and then it's other things I'm like, no, they just crazy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I feel you though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, Nikki, you closing us out, or you got any final words before we jump off of this?
No, man, it's been great. It's been great. It's been a great year. I just appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. You know, those who continue to watch and just don't say anything until after the show is over. Like we appreciate everybody who supports us and watches us and shows up on Tuesday and gives us, topic suggestions or tags us in something. Is like, hey, y'all talk about this. Like. We, I know we say all the time that we, hope to continue growing, but I really do hope that we continue growing and, let 2026 be, a great year for free thinkers, so just please continue to do exactly what you've been doing, continue sharing, continue giving us topic suggestions, telling people about us. Shout out to Spinners, shout out to Dirty Glove Midwest Barbecue, shout out to Phoenix Den, who's going to host us next month. Like, shout out to those who have been like, hey, y'all come meet at our place. Like, this is all about just networking and community and, the relationships that are forged. I mean, it's a beautiful thing we got going on here, man. It really is. So I appreciate this conversation tonight. I think that, a lot of times we get stuck in, maybe certain spaces, but talking about stuff like this is a vulnerable topic. This is a very vulnerable conversation for a lot of people. So I think that this is one of those conversations where there's going to be a lot of folks who very much heard what was said tonight. And needed to probably hear something tonight, so however this works, that you happen to stumble upon us, we're grateful that you're here. We want to keep being here for y'all on Tuesday. So, just keep us, on your Tuesday calendar. It's great. We'll continue talking about more. I'll leave some links in the Facebook page. If you're interested in, any, recovery, for dysfunctional relationships, I'll put a bunch of links in there too. I mean, it's a great time to heal. The year is over. It's a great time to heal. It's a great thing to start with next year coming up, and we definitely gonna be here, if that's what you're interested in doing. So we got next Tuesday, and then I think one more Tuesday after that, and then it'll be the last Tuesday. So hopefully some folks will join us for our holiday celebration. Coming up at the end of the month, but that's it. That's all I got.
Ivory, you got anything else?
Nope. I think it's a really good topic, especially around the holidays. And I think I would add, and I hope people got this from our conversation, give yourself some grace. Like, nobody got all of this together. Nobody's completely figured out how to deal with the people you love. And like, we're just all on a journey. We all growing. So if you listen to somebody and they got you feeling like crap, like, don't do that. Like, give yourself grace, whether you being enabled, whether you enabling. It's a lot to figure all this stuff out. So if I can just give one message to people, it's just to give yourself a lot of grace.
Agree.
And I wasn't gonna say nothing, but now you made me think about something. I would add on to that is don't allow this world, society, or people who don't have your best interests in mind, or they may not have the tools. Don't allow those people to cause you to shut down from who you are. If you are a helper by nature, and like you said, hey, this person may have become bitter because they help people and people take it for granted. That's not good when people take you for granted and you become an enabler, but it's also not good when it's in your heart and it's a part of who you are to be a helper and you suppress that as well. That will also dim your light and destroy you from the inside in. So I know this for a fact. I'm a helper. That's part of my being. If I can't help people, if I can't extend my heart to people, then I'm not walking in my purpose, and I'm not good to anybody, because I'm just not living in how I was created to be. So instead of shutting down, again, find ways. What's a healthy way for me to express who I am to people and to give and to help in a healthy way? We're not shutting down. We're not closing up shop. We're saying, what's the healthy way to do this? Because this is what I was born and created to do. So I got to do it. I just got to make sure I'm doing it in a way that's beneficial for everybody. That's my thought. All right, y'all. Good night.
Good night.